Hey there, in our last video we read about the processors and memory of a computer. Now today's lecture we will first of all focus on secondary storage devices. We will see all of them. What are our secondary storage devices? As far as the primary memory is concerned, we have read that it is already in a CPU and it is very close to that of the processor, and the cache memory is placed in between the primary memory and the processor for the quickest access, so that the processor will get a hit in just a very little time. So secondary storage devices have some different purposes, and this purpose is simply to store some data. Okay, to store data we need secondary storage devices, and the most important thing about them is they have huge sizes, and they are usually in GBs, at least in GBs, and at most they are nowadays in TBs also. Okay, for the personal computers. Now we have secondary storage devices like magnetic tapes, one secondary storage device. Secondary storage device number second is magnetic discs. Third is optical discs. Okay, fourth one is like memory storage devices like in this we have flash drives, and we have memory cards, we call them MMCs, and etc. There are many other secondary these memory storage devices in here, so we will talk about them one by one, but particularly I will try to make short videos on all of them. I will not complete them in just one video because it's going to be very long video then, so I will cover them one by one. I will try to make short videos, and after that we will try to complete the secondary storage devices as soon as possible. Before starting this thing, we must know two things in secondary storage devices, like we have sequential access devices, and the second one is direct access devices. Okay, from their names we can know that from sequential access devices the data is sequentially being accessed, and in case of the direct access we can jump anywhere. So I can say that that we cannot access data stored at the last few locations until we have traversed all preceding locations in the sequence. Okay, this is analogous, we can say this is analogous to a music tape cassette. I am sure that if you belong to 90s you might have used the cassettes, but if you are born after that, so you may search it on a Google what cassettes were and what they were actually looking like. So if you're born in 90s, you might be I'm sure about that you have used them. So this is analogous to a music tape cassette. If 10 songs are recorded on a music tape, and if we want to listen or to want to access the 8th song, okay, we must first listen to the 7 songs coming before it. This is very simple. We have like 1 2 3 4 5 dash 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 up to 10 songs in here. If we are listening to the song number first. Right now the header is over here. So if we are now willing to hear the song number 10, what we have to do, we have to first traverse second, then we have to go to third, then we have to go to fourth, then 5, so on up till number 10. So we have to listen first of all, we have to listen all of them, and then we can reach the song number 10. No doubt we can fast forward them, but there were no other alternative to reach to this song number 10 without getting through all of them. This is simply the concept of sequential access devices, and this magnetic tape is the best example of sequential access devices. Okay, magnetic tapes. So we will focus on this today. Now if I tell you about the direct access devices, so we can say that on the other hand, a direct access, or we call it sometimes random access storage devices, is one in which we can reach and access any storage location at random, and approximately equal access time is required for accessing each location in it. This is analogous to a music CD. Now this is very common. Music CD, I'm sure you might have heard about, and you might have used it, music CDs. Same is the case in here. If in this case we also have 10 songs are recorded on this music CD, and if we want to listen to the, or we want to access the 8th song or 10th song, we need not to listen or fast forward the 7th song coming before, 7 songs coming before it. All we have to do is to select track number 8 or track number 10 where we want to go on the player, and player moves the pickup arm. This is called a pickup arm. We will read it in the magnetic discs. And pickup arm directly across the CD to the groove where the 8th song begins, and this starts playing the song number 8. Same was the case here, 1 2 3 up till 10 songs. If we are on the header is on the first song and we want to listen to the 10th song, we can directly jump to the 10th song without traversing to these songs. Okay, and in here we have magnetic discs, we have optical discs. Okay, we have what I said here, memory storage devices, and they are the best examples of direct access devices, and in future videos we are going to cover all of them. Okay, now in today's we will focus on this magnetic tape, what magnetic tape actually is. So magnetic tape is the most popular storage medium for the large data sets accessed and processed sequentially. This is the important thing. If we want to access sequential data, this is the popular storage medium. Okay, computer systems also use it as a backup storage for data stored on online storage devices such as hard disks. Okay, now magnetic tape medium is a plastic ribbon. It is a plastic ribbon like this. Okay, and usually it is ½ inch or 1/4 of the inch wide. Okay, this is just that wide only, and 50 to 2400 feet long at most. Its surface has a coating. This is the very important thing which we need to take a note of. If it is usually of ½ or 1/4 of size. Okay, and this tape is coated with such as like iron oxide or chromium dioxide. It's usually coated with them that can record data by magnetization. Important point here is magnetization is the key word behind it. Okay, magnetization is the mechanism with which we can store the data on these tapes. Okay, data is recorded on the surface, on the coated surface, as a tiny, tiny invisible magnetized and non-magnetizing spots over here. Okay, and these spots are magnetized and other portion is a non-magnetized spot. Okay, these represent 1 and these others will represent 0. Okay, tape ribbon itself is stored in reels. This tape itself is stored in like a cassette was like this. Okay, and it was winded over here like this was the actual scenario. Okay, and these reels were stored in these reels and small cartridges, or we can call them cassettes. Okay, we can call them cassettes. These were the basic introduction of the magnetic tapes. Now let me give you a few examples of magnetic tapes. What were the were most popular few magnetic tapes? First, it was half inch. Sorry, it's just a half inch. Secondly, it was 1/4 of the inch. Okay, 1/4 inch, and this was called the tape reel. This was called the streamer tape. Okay, streamer tape. And third one, it was a half inch cartridge. Okay, it was a half inch cartridge. And lastly, it was DAT. What is DAT? DAT is 4 mm digital audio tape. Okay, digital audio tape. Those were the few popular examples of these magnetic tapes. Okay, now since we read about it that the magnetic tapes are sequentially being accessed, and those have these coated areas in which we have a magnetized and non-magnetizing spots which represent ones and zeros. This was all about the explanation of the magnetic tapes. Now why can't we use magnetic tapes nowadays? Why have they vanished? So we will see few advantages. What were the different advantages, and what are the different disadvantages? Because of them these are vanished and are not used nowadays. Now if I will tell you about the advantage, storage capacity of a magnetic tape storage is virtually unlimited. Okay, in this case it's virtually unlimited because as many tapes as required can be used for storing large data sets. We don't have any storage over here, storage problem. It's virtually unlimited. Okay, and those were low of cost. This is the second advantage of it. Those were very low of cost, and they were easy to handle. They were lightweight, they were portable, and all of them were the advantage of the magnetic tapes. Now the heinous few disadvantages are magnetic tapes. In this case, magnetic tapes are not suitable for storing of those data that we need to access randomly. So that we can't access it randomly, we have to go sequentially in this case because of their sequential access nature. Okay, we must store magnetic tapes in a dust-free environment. And lastly, if we have multiple magnetic tapes, we don't have any identification over them. Okay, so we have to label them one by one so that we can properly and logically remember, and we can remember what data is on which tape. Okay, those were the few limitations, or we can call them a disadvantage of magnetic tapes. I hope you have understood what I was trying to say in this trying to explain in this very video. And in the next few lectures I will try to cover magnetic disks, optical disks, and these memory storage devices one by one. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I am very much eager, and I will be happy if you would like, share, and subscribe to my channel for the more such videos in future. Till then, take care of your good self. Thank you very much.